do the same thing. All right?
All right.
So who we got tonight?
We got Sister Amanda Lang.
All right.
And she's doing banner.
All right, Sister Amanda. You have our attention, our hearts, our minds, our spirit. God has given you a lesson. You consented to teach us. Speak to us. Let God use you. This is a beautiful time for you. God bless you tonight.
Okay, thank you. I just want to thank all y'all for allowing me to participate with you guys with your Bible study when I have time. So I really appreciate that. And I was telling Barbara how I'm just so excited and how God revealed to me like some of the reasons why like she's in my life and why like I met you guys or interacting with you guys is because of the love that you guys share. Pastor, you know, we had this moment earlier, so so like I said, I appreciate you guys. And I definitely do feel the love from you guys. And Minister Hasty, I told her I was gonna get in the church and blast her because she came to the facility and she she gave Sister Barbara a hug, and I was like, Barbara ain't the only one you can hug around these pieces. I told her I was gonna get up in front of the church and tell her she ain't showing no love.
That's right.
And you've been hanging with my pastor too long already. Wow.
But yeah, I love you guys. Listen,
Love you too.
I didn't know the time limit. I wrote this, like I told Barbara, I was praying and I was saying, God, give me something. You gotta tell me something. But when she was reading the words out, immediately banner just stood out and God just started like giving me bullet points about it, but I couldn't, it took a minute, you know, I just was like, Lord, I just want to make sure that what I'm saying is going to edify the body and it's truth. It's your word. So again, I got the word banner. I'm long-winded, y'all, so bear with me, okay? So just to give you a background on banner, well, I'm just going to do God, our banner, Jehovah Nissi. In Exodus 17, the people of Israel was moving from Egypt, which is a place of bondage. And it's funny how the Bible says that at that particular time, they were moving out of the desert of sin. So, sin, you know, they was moving out of a place of nothingness. You know, there was nothing there but sin. And the people of Amalek came and tried to come up against them. And all they was doing was just trying to move ahead in life. And just a side note, some research that I did, I learned that the Amaleks were the descendants of Esau, which means that for me, I think that they knew about the promised land. And let me see where I'm at. You know, they knew about the promised land, and I just believe that they was just trying to like stop them from getting to the promised land because God had already rejected them, their line, their lineage. God had already rejected them because there's a few places where it said that, but I found it in Romans 9 and 13. It says, just as it is written, Jacob I love, but Esau I hated, I rejected. So that's why because Esau, we know Esau didn't care too much about God, the things of God. So for me, he represented worldly, like the worldly people, or the people that care more about life and the things of this world than the things of God. And Esau showed that when he was willing to give up his birthright for some soup. Right. And so for me, Esau represents sin because, first of all, he was breaking the first commandment, that you shouldn't have any other God before God. That you shouldn't have anything else before God. And what Esau did, or when we put other things and when we're doing things and we put it before God, then we actually make that a God.
That's right.
And let me see. Yeah, so anything that God wants us to do or tell us to do, or the things of God that we know we should be doing, when we put those things or those people or those actions before what God told us to do, then that thing, that person, that action becomes an idol because you put it before God. Okay, so now we're going to kind of go back to Banner a little bit, kind of go back to the people and how Banner came up. Okay, so the people of Israel was trying to get to the place in their lives where, you know, it was peace and abundance, the promised land. And, you know, they had made up in their minds that they didn't want, you know, to live the way that they used to live. And that the Amalekites just came, just starting stuff. And that's just like with us. You know, when we decide that we want to better ourselves, when we decide that we want to step out of our comfort zone, or we decide that, you know what, this life that I'm living, it ain't what's up no more. You know, it's not what's happening. So I need to do something better. And so when we try to do that, it's always going to be somebody or something that's going to try to come and stop us, try to discourage us, try to get us to just turn around. But with Moses, as long as he kept his hand lifted,
Yes.
as long as he kept his hand lifted, he prevailed. And I believe this because when you lift your hands, it's a sign of surrenderance unto God, and it's a sign of victory, all at the same time. So since Moses Moses spoke to God for the children of Israel, I felt like at that moment, even though God told him to, with him being obedient, he was telling God that, you know what, God, we surrender to you. We worship you. And by faith, through you, we know that we're going to have the victory. And so I just want everybody just to remember that when we're going through hardship, if we lift our hands to God in surrenderance, you know, we can always remember that in God, that we're more than a conqueror. Okay, so moving on to Banner. At the battle, when the Israelites defeated the Amalekites, they built an altar to God to worship him and to thank him. And at that time, God said that I will always have war against the Amalekites. So that means that the Lord will always be against or have war against the Amalekites, which is also known as sin. It represents sin. The Amalekites represent sin. So God, Jehovah, became their Nisi, their banner. And that says that when we say that Jehovah God, Jehovah Nisi is our banner, we're saying that God is against sin and against the worldly ways. Just as, and we're saying that, yeah, God is my banner, and so I am against sin, and I am against the worldly ways. Now, I had two definitions that I kind of summed up and made it my own for banner. And so the first one is, it can be a flag or something that you represent to symbolize or convey a message, just to convey a message. Just a quick little game or questions just to ask y'all so we can recognize this or understand this definition is, when you see this flag raising and it's got a red target on it, a red bullseye on it, what does it tell you?
That's the department.
That Target.
Yeah, exactly. That's the department store. We know that. We've been conditioned.
Talk to us.
You know, and then whenever we see that banner or that sign, you know, that road sign with that golden M on it, it tells us what's coming ahead, which is what? With the golden arch, the golden M.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, exactly. We've been conditioned, so it shows you that those flags things represents and relay messages, just as God. When we hold up the bloodstained banner of Jesus Christ, we're relaying a message to other people. Okay. Let me see. So in the natural, so in the spirit. When we accept Christ as Lord of our lives, he becomes our banner. And in Revelations 22:13, it says that he is our Alpha and our Omega, our beginning and our end, which means that he's going to go before us to make sure that everything is taken care of. And we are, you know, going in the right direction. And he's going to make sure that everything is already ready for us when we get there. And he comes behind us, which means that he covers our six. He's covered behind us just in case the devil try to, you know, throw something, you know, try to be sneaky and come behind us and throw something, throw a monkey wrench in it. So when we say that God is our banner, we are walking in the will of God, and he is guiding us or showing us the way we should go, and he will also be protecting us. Just a few scriptures that I wrote down to back up this information is Proverbs 3:6 that says, "In all your ways submit to him." And to me, again, that goes back to the lifting of your hands and surrendering to God. And he will make your path straight or show you which path to take. And then in Psalms 91, like the first 4 or 5 verses, it lets us know that when we are in the will of God, we can enter into the secret place in him, and he will cover you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and your protection. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says that there is no temptation that is known unto man that can overtake you, that God is faithful, who will not allow it to tempt you above what you are able. But the temptation, he will always make a way of escape, and you will be able to withstand or endure. So remember, if God is your banner, and he is against sin, so when you holding up the bloodstained banner of Jesus Christ, Satan, the accuser of the brother, will always set traps and temptations to keep you from getting to the promised land, just like the Amaleks did with the children of Israel. Okay. And maybe not every day, but every dispensation in your life, there will be some sort of war. Some are easy and calm, and all you're really doing is collecting the spoils, the good of the land. In those moments where we're just, it's peace within us. And those are those moments that we should be drawing close to God. Those are those moments when we should be prepping for war. So we should be staying in the will of God at all times. Those are those moments where I don't even know how to describe it, but we should be seeking his face. Those are those easy moments. We're collecting the spoils. We're collecting the things that God has given us or had for us from the battle that we just came out of. And then sometimes, you know, it's going to be tough and we're going to actually be fighting. But just remember that Ephesians 6:12 says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. There will always be someone or something to try to stop you. But as long as you're living holy, you can lift up holy hands to God and be victorious over sin. Even if it means that God has to send someone that's like-minded,
My God.
you know, some like-minded person into your life to encourage you, you know, and then just show you the way or just help you lift your hands. Just like Aaron and Hur did for Moses in those moments when he was weak. He had somebody there. God had somebody already in place. So just like I thank God I have somebody in my church, and then Sister Barbara is there, encouraging me with whatever it is, this movement that God is doing in my life. Sister Pam and even Elder Hasty, I know she praying for me, and I appreciate that. And even y'all, like I said, even y'all, but God always have somebody there for you. So I just want to the young people, well, to the old people too, us older people, don't just throw people away that God sent in your life to tell you something, to encourage you in the Lord. Don't just dismiss it, because they can be your Aaron and your Hur. They can be those people that God sent to help you, to lift you up. They wasn't there at every battle, but they were there for that one.
Wow.
That's seasonal, even in that moment, when those people come into your life, you look at what's going on and where God is taking you, and you ask God for the spirit of discernment, and you see where they line up in your life. A lot of times with me, when people come into my life, I say it's always something to learn from them. And so whether it's good or bad, whether they're good or bad, if they're there to destroy me or if they're there to uplift me, whatever it is, I take it, I look at them, and I look at their characteristics, and I try to pull out the things that will make me better. I try to pull out those things like I was saying, you guys, when I say y'all another level of love, y'all another level of love. I don't have that. And I thank God that, he again, like I said, he placed you guys, I'm going to say all y'all, because I think I've come across just about everybody on here. And when I say love, real love, it's there. That love, that unconditional love, y'all got it. God's agape love, y'all got it. I don't know what y'all do behind my back or nobody else's back. I don't know what you say, but it don't come back to me. It don't come back. And I thank God for that. Some people to trust, and just, hey, I just thank God for y'all and for y'all love. So right now I can say that you guys, this ministry, during this season, y'all have been my Aaron and my Hur. So I thank God for y'all. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So my second definition is, sometimes a banner can be used, can be defined as a marker. We can use it. We can use a banner to mark a rally spot, a place to meet up at. So if God is your banner, you are telling people that you are a place where they can meet Jesus.
Wow.
You are to be God's hands and feet. And again, some scriptures. Y'all, my pastor, it's just something, if you say it, you got to be able to back it up with the word. So just a few scriptures. Matthew 5:13-16. It says that we ought to be the light of the world and the salt of the earth, and that our light should shine before men. So again, like I said, if God is your banner, you're telling people, hey, God is here. God is here. Galatians 2:20 says, it's no longer you who live, but Christ living through you. Ephesians 5:1 says you should be imitators of God. And Matthews 25:40-45 says, if you have done this to the least of these, you have also done it unto God. I'm just paraphrasing it for the sake of time. And then John 14:12 says, if you believe in God and he is your banner, you should do the works that Jesus did, but greater works.
Yes.
Okay. And you should be living, loving, and acting like God. You should be the place. You should be a place, not just a church, but you should be a place where people can come and encounter God, to accept Jesus, and to receive a healing or a miracle. And then the last thing I just want to kind of mention about God being our banner is that there's always a requirement or a standard that comes along with a name or a brand.
Absolutely.
And so if you're like representing a business, no business wants you going around looking, acting, or saying all kinds of crazy stuff while representing them.
Talking good.
Especially you wearing a uniform, which is a sign of a banner. You passing out their flyers, you're swinging that flag out there, you got that magnet on your car. You can't be road raging and talking junk like how you do. And believe it or not, we even do that in front of our children. And then we show them that impatientness. We show them the backbiting or whatever it is that we're doing at that moment. We're showing the kids that. And so we just want to be mindful of that as well. So they expect you to be acting in alignment of the company's mission and its standards and its ethics. Well, when you say that you're lifting up the bloodstained banner of Jesus Christ, this means that you have accepted Christ as your personal Savior, and you have become an ambassador of Christ, which means that you choose to represent Christ as Lord over your life. You choose to act, live in alignment of His will, His purpose, His standard, and His ethics. This means that you must love and obey God. So John 13, 34 and 35 says, a new commandment I give you, that you love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciple. Okay, and Mark 12 and 30 says, to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your mind and with all your strength. And I believe that this is sometimes where we mess up at, is that we say we love God, but our banner, our actions don't say it. It says otherwise. So if God is your banner, I say to you, just as Paul says in Romans 12, 1 and 2, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. To be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. By doing this, I believe you are lifting the bloodstained banner of Jesus Christ, because you will be displaying God in you. And your life will become the banner because Jesus Christ is living in you. And because I know, people like me, you could tell me all this stuff, but I need you to show me what it looked like. Some people don't understand. I could be quoting all these scriptures, and you can say, oh, you could be living for God, and how do I know if I live for God or not? So a good way to kind of measure, to see, because it's not judging. It's not judging. The Bible says, judge yourself so you won't be judged. Okay, but the Bible also says that you will know them by their fruit. So with that being said, if your life looks like Galatians 5, 19 through 21, and Romans 1 and 29 through 31, then God is not your banner, because these are the acts of the flesh. And I'm not going to go through all those. I might just read a couple that we normally get to. We're sowing discord. We're being jealous. We're hating, drunkenness, idolatry. Those are just some of the acts. So If you're doing any of those, again, you can go and reference that Galatians 5:19 through 21 and Romans 1 29 through 31. Those are the works of the flesh. But if God is your banner, then you will be displaying the fruits of the Spirit, which is Galatians 5:22 through 23. But the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, which is a big one. So these are some of the ways that you'll know. If you kind of just look at your life and the things that you on a daily basis that you display, you will know whether or not you're lifting up the bloodstained banner of Jesus Christ. Not to say that just because we have a slip up or a mess up that we may fall into one or two of the other categories. It doesn't necessarily mean that God isn't your banner, because he always have a way. He always have a way for us to come back. And we're human. We're gonna make mistakes, and God know it. That's why he sent Jesus to die for us. So I just want to leave this with y'all, this one thought tonight. Because even though it's not to say, but we know when we're displaying more intentionally, there's a difference between, unknowingly and knowing. So when you're intentionally displaying the fruits of the flesh, then God is not your banner. So just be mindful with every day, how you live, even in the privacy of your own home, because God sees all. We may not be there, but God sees all. And we want to make sure that no matter where we are, no matter who we're around, that we're waving our flag, we're waving our banner of Jesus Christ. I do it. I tell people a lot. What I do in my house, they can't say, my kids can't go and say, oh, mama shout and do all this stuff at church, but she don't do it at home. The devil is lying. Mama pray at home. We have Bible study every day with our children. It's because I just want to get you in routine that you should be, with God some portion of your day. You should be giving God some sort of glory, some portion of your day. You have to make that mandatory, because God is the one that gave you that breath. God is the source to all your resources. So when you think you got it all, you ain't got nothing if it ain't for Jesus Christ. So you have to reverence him. You need to lift up those hands, or whatever it is that you and God got together. Y'all think whatever it is that y'all got going on, you need to make God aware that you appreciate him and that you love him, and that it's no good thing that you've done, that you have what you have, that you're breathing the breath that you're breathing, but it's all because of God.
Yes, it is.
And so, I think that's about it. Because God says that, last one, Revelations 3:16 says, I'd rather for you to be hot or cold, because if you're lukewarm, he's going to spit you out of his mouth. And then God is going to make the decision for you. So you choose this day. Who you going to serve? What banner are you going to lift up? And that's it, guys. That's what I have.
Great job.
That was good.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job.
Good job.
Thank you.
All of this, my family.
Yep.
About Target having a banner up, McDonald's having a banner up, and she said that we're going to be believers and the called out, the royal priesthood, then we ought to be exemplifying Christ in our life.
Yep.
As she was talking, something kept coming to my head about false advertising.
Yes.
She said, I would rather you be, according to Revelation, hot or cold, which means either the store going to be closed or they open. but they can't have a sign up saying they open and when I touch the door it's closed. You can't do that.
Right.
Which one are y'all? Y'all open or y'all closed? So this false advertisement is publishing, it's displaying, it's broadcasting something, but actuality, you something else. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. That's what I got out of this lesson. Phenomenal. Yeah. I love it. You did wonderful. Proud of you. Keep building. Mm-hmm. Any comments, concerns, and feedback?
Great lesson.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
I tell you, we were waiting to hear you. Great lesson.
Thank you.
I know. Great job, Amanda.
Thank you.
Good job.
To God be the glory.
Job, Amanda.
Thanks. To God be the glory. Pastor, I just need you to stop with the false advertisement because I heard that Miss Smith said something. Miss Smith, you might need to call me, Miss Jane. Miss Jane, you might need to call me because yeah. So Pastor getting all up in my business.
I just heard that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Pastor getting all in the business.
Love it. I love it. Hey, you ain't what everybody trying to build something, trying to perfect our banner. Because you have to be who you say you are.
Right.
That's right.
Just cannot go out in public. And like she said, even in the home, just sit down. This is what I preached last week and count up the cost. Just figure out what it is you're going to do. No one's going to be perfect. But you definitely can't be going out here, man, acting like you are a straight baller and you ain't got but $25 in your pocket. You just cannot do that.
Right. Right.
You just can't do that, because it's the old folks say if it's gonna come out in the wash, it's gonna come out in the rinse. We gonna find out what you really are.
Right.
So why don't you just go and tell the world I'm working on it?
Right.
God is working on me.
Dang.
Be patient with me.
That makes me think about when we're talking about McDonald's. You can go in McDonald's or you can go in any other restaurant. When you go in McDonald's, you always look for the Big Mac. Like when you go into church, you want to see the fruits of the Spirit. When you go into church, say they pray in the church, you were looking for that particular thing that that Christians supposed to have.
Right.
Like when you go in McDonald's, you're looking for that Big Mac. When you go into church, you're looking for someone that had those fruits of the Spirit. So if you go somewhere, that's a false advertisement. If you go somewhere and they don't have what you're looking for.
And that's also I like you did a great job, Sister Amanda.
Thank you.
I don't think you could hear me. But it's just like Overseer has taught us for a long time, when we go out, we do represent first and foremost God, but we represent our church. Mm-hmm. That's why you can't I can say the choir in particular. I was just telling someone this week when I remember when I got sanctified. I remember it was during the women's conference, and I had went to East Lamar. That's whenever the East Lamar was here in Charlotte. And I remember just explaining how I wanted to buy this red shirt, boy. It had one sleeve off and one sleeve on. But God, it's like, when I began to hear the Spirit just really speak to me, and He was letting me know, you're not going to dress like that no more. So I didn't buy the shirt. And I remember standing up before the choir, and God let me know, and I'm just being real. He said, you're not going to keep spending the night over there at Daniel's house and coming and standing before this choir. He just let me know that. He's like, you're going to serve me or you're not, And then during the women's conference, I remember Evangelist Lancaster, how she came forward.